tell me all about it. Well, hi there. My name is Charles Ray Dawson. I'm an Associate Broker, Residential Sales Manager, ProStar Realty. This is the Unnamed Real Estate Podcast, episode 223, if you know, you know, and filmed live on location at the VFW Post 9400. And I am helping, not really helping, I'm the adult supervision today because we have some contractors coming through and fixing various things in the post. We got a fire suppression guy who's working the hood over the grill and the deep fryers in the kitchen, and he's adding on some more piping. And we got a couple air conditioning guys. Sounds like they're coming down the ladder right now, trying to get our walk-in freezer straightened out. So, or walk-in cooler. So, anyways, hope you guys are having a good day. Unless they're drinking a lot of free iced tea because this is the price they pay for having me here. So, well, it's been an interesting week so far in real estate, and interesting week here at the Post. Our air conditioner units are not doing great. And this is a building that was built in 1940, it was in 1950s. It was dedicated in 1948. It took a couple years for them to complete. And it has had generations of veterans working on things. And so everything here is a little bit odd. So we're trying to trace down the problem with the wiring and whatnot. And of course, we got circuit breaker is up over here. That circuit breaker is not tripped, but there's no power going to the, going to the chiller. So we look into it and find there's another breaker box on the other side of the wall, which is of course padlocked. Nobody can find the key, so I use my handy-dandy little HUD universal padlock opening device. All right, cut that sucker off. We'll have to get a new replacement on that and find out that that breaker's tripped, so we tripped the breaker. Now they just found out the compressor is broke on it. So fun and games. But, joys of building maintenance and home ownership, which comes to pretty much the topic of today, and I haven't come up with a title yet, so hopefully I come up with something good. What we got? Okay, the compressor. And of course, it's a compressor. So if anybody's looking for a charitable tax donation this year, VFW Post 9400, we are a nonprofit organization, and I can give you our tax ID number in case you want to write a check, because it's either that or we're all going to have to hear me out. The hot men of 9400, I get a whole bunch of geriatric men in here. Will do like a pinup calendar or something like that, so things we need to do for money around here. So, anyways, was I? So, case point. We got a walk-in on its own compressor. We got 6 air conditioning units. We got wiring going back to the 50s in this place. It's as nice as this all looks. I mean, it's a facade, all right? It's a Potemkin post, right? And this is what we got to work with here. But we're keeping the lights on and everything's going pretty good. But it's a matter of staying up. So, deferred maintenance, all right? That's sort of what I wanted to talk about. So I got a house under contract right now, and owner's been in there for quite a bit of time. And we're just going through looking at, the home inspection and all the stuff that are getting called out. Now, one of the things that people think, because home inspectors put this in their report, and sellers think that this means that they get new houses, is, built to code, okay? Now, the codes are changing every month, every day. I mean, there's a new code coming out. Builders need to build to the current code, right? But there's not a responsibility for you, the homeowner, to keep your house up to code. So when a home inspection comes in and says, oh, well, this is not does not meet current practices. Yeah, it does not meet current practices, but this house was not built before, and these things all get grandfathered in. Now, when you're talking a commercial space like this, there's different requirements. So AC guys were here because of the AC unit, all right, and the walk-in chiller, and I got to figure out maybe I need to move some stock out to make sure it keeps cool, but I think we should be good for that. We don't really have to draw out of that often. But we also have the fire suppression guy. Now that, because it is a kitchen and it does need to be kept up to code. So the original code, we needed 3 sprayers in case you need to kick off the fire retardant. And now the new code is 1 over each item. So we're going to have, he's cutting pipes using this great little machine back there. And I looked at it. It's like this guy hand built his card, right, to take that pipe cutter, all right, and roll it all in with oil. It's got the oil gauge, little bin to take all the metal scraps out. Just really slick rig. And he's recutting it. So we're going to have 1 for the fryer, 1 for the second fryer, 1 for this burner here, and 1 for this burner over here. So, or burner set. And so that's the other reason why I'm hanging out here. But it would be more fun if I could just roll right into something I wanted to show you. But, the deferred maintenance will cost you at the end of the day. All right, and I'm saying to you so I can remind myself, this is why I spend about an hour or 2 every weekend mucking about my house and trying to tighten stuff up, and simple stuff like doorknobs, still hitting my whole home inspection, which is 21 years old now, looking at things, just take care of your cars, people, and take care of your houses, and take care of yourself. Work your circles, and I'm not going there just yet, but because we haven't done the numbers. Let's take a look at the numbers. All right. I literally set these things up just while I was prepped here on site. So anyways, these are the numbers for May 14th, 2025. Okay, actives this week are 26,390, down 74 from the week before. And our new listings are 2,395, down 91. Our contracts are 2,370, down 162. Right? And closings were 1,507. Coming soon to an MLS near you is 641 new listings. Our supply is at 108.5. Our demand is at 81.3, giving us a Cromford report number of 74.9. So we've broken under the 75 mark. Right. Looking at our various cities, and this is the first time I'm actually looking at them. There's still Chandler at the top, but, still dropping. They're at 119.5. Also, what would be considered a seller's market is Avondale and Fountain Hills. Glendale has slipped into balanced market, right, at 108.1. Phoenix is at 107.8. Paradise Valley, don't care, is 107.5. And Scottsdale at 104, with Gilbert, Mesa, and Tempe, Cave Creek, all squeaking in our balanced market. Let's look at our buyer's markets, right? Peoria is at 79.6, Goodyear 74.4, Surprise 64.4, and the bottom 3, Queen Creek, Buckeye, and Maricopa, still trending up. All right, so let's see. Maricopa is out of the under 50 mark, all right, and let's see how they keep going. But notice higher end places are dropping down, except for Fountain Hills, and they just sort of bounced, all right. But it's showing as people trend out, okay? And they start looking for the deals. Where's my rate cuts? Nobody knows. All right. So market is doing what the market's going to do. I think this is going to be the normal throughout the rest of the summer. Unless we have some major rate cut or something really shakes up the market, we're just going to be drawing down until that little autumn surge that we always get. So I found some really, really cool things this weekend. All right, that I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you this because I wanted this video to be about VA loans and being a veteran buyer. I think I've covered that enough before. And this is something else I've covered, but I saw these pictures last night and I saved them for future use. And then I woke up this morning and there's an entire article about the clutter wars in households. Various households. He's got her clutter. She's got her clutter. Just buying cheap stuff from China. I will link the article in the show notes below. It's pretty good. Air conditioner, the one that works, just came back on. And we can, but let me just show you this, all right? You guys have heard me talk about the old Sears and Roebucks. Order it online, have it delivered to your lot, home packages, right? This one right here is called the Crafton, right? And this was the most popular at the time. You could buy this and have it delivered to your place for under $1,000. It would be delivered to your lot, big container, everything you need to build a house, right? And they also had 4, 5, and 6 rooms with a bath. Now, that's not bedrooms. Back in the days, they used to say rooms. Right? And you look at those old advertisements, like, this is a 4-room house for $22,000. You know, yay. Right? Now, the funny thing is, this plan today to this spec would cost, you know, the under 1,000 that they were talking about with inflation now becomes $22,000 today. Still sounds pretty good, but building these houses to the current code, all right, would run you in the 60s and 70s before you got to the lot. And of course, zoning and everything else. But I just wanted to show you these floor plans, all right? And if you're looking at this on your phone, I do apologize, but floor plan 3318A. I almost thought this was my house. Right, just from like the sort of the original vibe on it, right? But I just want to call out some of these dimensions because you cannot get modern Americans into these dimensions. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. All right, bedroom 18 feet 8 inches by 9 feet 5 inches. I don't think that's a full-size bed in that picture. I think that's probably a twin bed. All right, that living room is 11.5 or 11 feet 5 inches by 16 feet 11 inches. I've seen bedrooms bigger than that. I've seen bedrooms this week bigger than that. But that was the living and the dining room in this design. All right. This other bedroom in the back is actually slightly bigger at 10 feet 11 inches by 9 by 5. All right. But that hall bath 5 foot 11 by 6'10". All right, little itty bitty hall in there. You'd actually have one person step out. And look at the size of these closets, guys. I mean, you could figure out that closet can't be more than 3 feet wide. Well, maybe 3.5 feet wide. Right? This is what I'm talking about when I tell you guys about people had less stuff. Remember, I mentioned a while ago that theory they came across that you got walk-in closets about the same time you started getting cheap clothing imports from China. All right. Now, this sort of reflects that. And let me see if I saved the 3-bedroom. Here's a 3-bedroom. All right. It's a little bit longer. Okay. But you could raise a family of 4 in this thing. Hell, you could raise a family of 5 if you had 2 kids of the same sex that could bunk up, right? This is the house your grandparents lived in. Hell, maybe some of you viewers have lived in houses like this. I live in a house about this size, so. But the other thing on these things had a basement on there. All right, probably put your washer and dryer down in the basement, right? But here's your refrigerator. Here's your sink. Probably put the stove right there. Okay, cabinets. All right. Maybe that's a back door. I think that's a back door right there in the backyard. All right. But the dimensions on this is the other thing I wanted to call out. All right. Right here. Okay. 22 feet wide by 30 feet deep. You could dense pack these things in any common neighborhood, subdivision that you see going on. You want to deal with home ownership, these would be the ultimate starter house if you could come up with a way to get these things going again, all right, and keep local zoning regulations happy. Anyways, what's the other thing here? There is one floor plan that actually a little bit smaller kitchen, but you get a little bit more dining room. That was the 3118C. Still only the 2 bedrooms. All right. And I sort of like that plan better because this one of the bedrooms comes right off the living room, and it's just nobody likes that. Nobody likes that plan. So that was the D plan on that. And then the A plan over here, same thing. Yeah. Well, if everybody's going to sleep at 8 o'clock because they got to get going, or 9 o'clock and they go to bed at the same time, then you don't have that ambient noise coming in from the living room into the bedroom stuff. Nowadays, since everybody's on different sleep schedules, that's just not practical by today's standard. But hell of a plan, really interesting. Be fun to try. So, what does this mean to you? Things get bigger, things change. Sears and Roebucks, we hardly knew ye. Amazon killed you. And bunk. So, no fancy segue today, all right? Watch your children, pets around water. Do not drive in anything flooded. Work your circles every day. Check out the links in the show notes below, all right? And like, share, and subscribe. I'm seriously considering about getting a little bit more into the video side that I am already. From a marketing standpoint, I'm retooling the business, as it were. So, other than that, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.